Welcome to our Giving Hearts Day live stream. This is pretty cool.
Yeah, really cool.
Thank you guys for joining us. I'm really excited about this. Um, we are joined by, why don't you guys just go around the horn and introduce yourselves? We got Tim, Jason, Melissa, but introduce each of you guys.
Okay, I can start.
Sweet.
So I'm Jason Sherburne. I work at the College of District Health Crew, Campus Race International. I'm part of the crew Northern Plains team, which is going to two universities in Dakota that aren't on the eastern end of I-29.
Okay. Very neat. And Tim.
Yep, Tim Knutson. I'm with Dakota Hope Clinic here in Minot. We're a local pregnancy help center that services all of North Central, Northwestern, North Dakota, lots of north in there. And we just opened up, and we've been open 10 years at our location. That's at 315 South Main here in Minot. It's at the intersection of Burdick Expressway and Main Street, and kitty corner from the old emergency room. And but we just opened up a mini clinic up in Botno as of October or September. And then as of October, we celebrated a year of a new location that we, a satellite location that we have out in Tioga. And by satellite, I mean, it's not like a full clinic,
Okay.
but we still have all the same resources available to people
Very neat.
servicing kind of those areas.
Cool. And Melissa's joining us via the live stream. Welcome, or via the internet. Welcome, Melissa.
The interweb.
I'm Melissa with Matthew 25. We are a free thrift store in Minot that helps people meet their material needs so that they can focus on things like family, employment, mental health, and sobriety. And we just celebrated our 5th anniversary.
5 years?
5 years.
What?
Not in the shop, but 5 years of operating.
Wow.
That's awesome. So what we're going to be doing today is we have 3 guests right now, and there's going to be more that are going to join us throughout. Some will come, some will go. But let's start off just focusing on your nonprofit, Melissa. And I think first off, just talking about the impact of Giving Hearts Day to the nonprofit and how that relationship works.
Okay, well, this is our first Giving Hearts Day. So
Congratulations then.
I'm a newbie at this. So we operated for 3 years with no budget, no income, and any expenses were out of the volunteers' pockets. So in the last 2 years since we opened our shop, the reality of what it costs to make an operation like ours run has hit hard. And to be honest, I would rather be doing the work and meeting with people than fundraising. So we're hoping that things like Giving Hearts Day can just help us keep operating and keep meeting the needs. And in 2023, we served over 15,000 people in the Minot region. So
Wow.
we have a lot of people coming through the door, and it takes a lot to keep that place going.
Absolutely. And Tim and Jason, feel free to chime in whenever. There's a few questions that I have on top of mine.
Yep.
So I'll take the next question. What exactly, you said you service 15,000 people, which is an incredible number. Who are some of the people that you guys help? Who exactly do you guys help?
So we do not ask people who come in the shop to prove poverty. So anyone is welcome, but we are seeing a lot of referrals coming from other agencies in the area. So we have a lot of social workers calling us or bringing in their clients. Shelters will send people in once people can get into some kind of housing, and we can help them get set up with household items and clothing. People coming out of incarceration, graduating from sober living homes, folks like that. And then we do get a lot of folks who come from out of Minot. They'll schedule their doctor's appointments or whatever they need to do to be the same days that we're open so that they can come. So folks from usually the reservations or just some other rural communities that don't have the resources that we have here.
Absolutely. You guys have any? Go ahead, Jason. It looks like you got one on top of mind.
Oh, sure. Well, I was just thinking of, you're saying this is your first year in Giving Hearts Day. And I remember that first collaborative meeting. So our collaborative, it's 13 people, or 13 different groups.
Yeah.
And there are other nonprofit groups a part of Giving Hearts Day in the Minot area who aren't a part of our collaborative.
Yeah.
And we still hype them up and encourage and promote them as well. But the 13 of us who said we're going to be part of this collaborative are all like in it together in weekly meetings. And so she was saying, hey, it's our first year. We don't know what we're doing.
Right.
We went, yeah, exactly. That's why you're part of this collaborative, because all of us were in your shoes at one time too. And because of the collaborative and our like joint, putting our heads together and
Mm-hmm.
helping promote each other that way really helps everybody do so much better, especially their first year.
Right. So that collaborative, you can find more information about it at mynotghd.com. That's one place for applicable for today. But where would we find more about that collaborative?
The website, but I think if you're interested in being a part of the collaborative, contact one of us and just be a part of it, really, because there's not a whole lot of information on there pertaining to like how to be a part of it.
Yep.
As more it is just about the individual organizations.
Yeah. And the state team, or the state overall Giving Heart State team, they'll put people into the collaboratives or give you information about whether
Very
you're in the
good.
Dickinson area, they have a collaborative.
Right.
Wilson has a collaborative. Minot has one.
Very neat.
On, so they give you the information that way.
So go ahead.
I was even thinking this morning, we got together for breakfast at Kroll's Diner just to kick things off. And you were just saying, like, Matthew 25 project, wow, we've had such a great time with Giving Hearts Day. Now we know for next year all the things that we'll continue to do and do better.
Right.
And I think the collaborative is a huge testament to how that works so well. So thanks for being a part of it. And thanks for being a good testimony to the collaborative.
You guys have made such a big difference, and it's a great fundraising tool, but I really just enjoyed making more connections with other people in Minot who run nonprofits. And like I had Tessa from YouthWorks over at the shop today, and we were working on getting a young person set up. I wouldn't have met her if it wasn't for the collaborative. And so it's just been so much more than just the fundraising, and I appreciate it very much.
Yeah. And I want to point out too, if I can,
Please.
just because I don't think people realize a few things, because anybody that's chiming in right now has no idea, really what you do for sure.
Right.
And so, Melissa, I've been to your location. People don't realize, I mean, this isn't just like a 1,000 square foot building with a few things in it. I mean, it's huge for one. And so would you tell us where you at, what kind of items you get coming in and out of there, where you get the items?
Yep. So we are located on the West 83 bypass in the old CalDAC Cabinets building. So if you're on the bypass, we are like half a mile north of the Hyatt House. And we take in donations from the community we say anything that's clean and usable. And then we turn around, we sort everything and we kind of have it set up like a thrift shop in there and make it available to people who come in who are in need. We started with just clothing, but now if you come in the shop, pretty much we have a little bit of everything. We have furniture, kitchen items, bedding, household. We have lots of baby items, toys. Our biggest need is always for those basic supplies for people who are starting over. So towels, sheets, shower curtains, pots and pans. When we get a special referral, somebody like we've had some people who've gone through house fires or, like I said before, coming out of a shelter. So imagine getting an apartment and you move in, but you don't have anything. So we try to do those really basic things like how do they cook a meal? How do they take a shower? What are they sleeping on? So hopefully we have stuff like that in the shop.
And what days of the week do you guys run?
We are open Monday evenings from 6 to 8, and then Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 1. And then we always open one Saturday a month. But people should really follow us on Facebook. It's Minot Matthew 25 Project. Sorry. And then we will post our monthly calendar so you'll know which Saturday we're open.
Awesome.
And then,
Very, very good there.
yeah. And then I know last time I was there too, you had a ton of volunteers. So, I mean, you got a really great group there. So, I mean, you don't have any employees. You're just running mainly off of volunteers. Is that about right?
We do have a part-time shop manager now, which was a big leap. I couldn't do it without her. But we do have a lot of volunteers, and some of them are shoppers that come and have gotten what they needed and were blessed by the place. And so they turn around and give their time and help out. And we get lots of special groups in, high school groups, Air Force Base groups. We try to accommodate any and all volunteers.
Sure. And what was your match amount this year? I'm curious.
3,000.
3,000. And have you met that match already?
Oh yeah. I'm looking at my desk now. We set a goal of 10,000. We are at 9,045.
Yes.
Wow.
Almost there.
Almost there. And we still got till midnight tonight.
I was just thinking, can I make it bigger? Can we keep going?
Yes. And you will. You're going to pass it. We got till midnight tonight.
Yeah.
So you guys can go to mynotghd.com. That's kind of the easy way. We kind of made it for people. Then you just look up Matthew 25 Project and you click on that and it should bring you right to the giving page.
Perfect. Exciting. Well, I was going to ask, how do we support you? But it sounds like that's pretty well covered. Any closing words on that?
I just, you know what, this is all a God-driven project, and I just want to thank everybody in Minot for being so supportive and with their time, their money, their household items that they drop off. And I encourage anybody and everybody to come check it out because it's just a very special place. And we get a lot of comments from people who come in and say that they felt loved when they came in the door, or they felt like they had value. And that's, even though we're in the business of stuff, our primary reason for being there is to love on people. So please come check it out.
Yeah, that's
Very
great. And I just noticed too, last time I was there, you guys did a big revamp, and it looked
Yeah.
like it's reorganized. And it's
Wow.
how many square feet do you have? And like, kind of tell us about that, because I was blown away at how much stuff you guys have.
Yeah, we need more space though. So, you know, next year, trying to raise more money so I can rent more space. Yeah, we have, I think, 4,500 square feet, and a chunk of that is used for the taking in of donations and sorting them. But yeah, it's big. It's I don't even know what to say. It blows my mind every day what God has in mind for that place.
Yeah.
Well, where did the inspiration for the project come from?
I was a foster mom, and I found that I had to get out of the house sometimes. And so I took a fun little job at the Closet Connection, which is a consignment store in town. And they had items that weren't, once they didn't sell or they had reached their life on their sales floor, they donated them to a thrift shop. And I asked the owner if I could take those items and then give them to other foster families or bio families or whoever. I just thought I could find places for these things. So that's what I started doing. And then that was the year before COVID hit. And when COVID hit, then I became a Facebook stalker of the Pay It Forward pages. And so we started sorting stuff in a building on my farm. And then when somebody would go on the Pay It Forward pages and say they were in need of something, we would find that box and we would deliver it. And over time, I got more and more volunteers, and other people started donating. And eventually we got to the point where we had to either put up or shut up, I guess, you know, take a leap of faith, open the shop and make it a real thing. So, yeah. But we did deliver to 1,000 homes, and when we were doing it off the farm. So it was pretty cool.
Our software even gave you a thumbs up for that one. So
I saw that. That was cool.
Yeah. So pretty amazing there. Well, really appreciate you joining. You guys have any last questions? We're good. So really appreciate you joining today. And if you want to support Matthew 25 Project, go to mynotghd.com. You'll find some information there where you can go help them break their goal of $10,000.
Yes.
Got the cowbell.
I don't have one. Sorry.
All right. Thank you so much, Melissa.
Thank you.
All right. So that was our first guest. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely. Yeah. They've really been making an impact on Minot. It's amazing.
Yeah. That is amazing. So why don't you guys, for the last couple of weeks, have been making some terrific videos, right? Terrific. So why don't we go ahead and play one of them? We'll find a snowy spot in Minot, and we can find Jason there.
Do you know what kind of bagel can travel?
We're gonna have to not do that because the deal. So we'll play this one instead. We got solutions.
All right, that was quick.
All right, perfect, everyone. We have a hit on our hands for sure.
But don't you think the Giving Hearts Day cowbell is a little too loud?
You know, my name is Jason Generosity, and I put my pants on one leg at a time, just like everybody else. But when I put my pants on, I make generosity happen. So I know that there is good cowbell in this. Let's run it again. Oh man, see what I was saying? That is just perfect.
Yes.
But Jason, isn't there too much Giving Hearts Day cowbell?
What? Can you really have too much Giving Hearts Day cowbell?
You know what? And like Giving Hearts Day, funds are matched and doubled. We need to double the cowbell. Sanders, get in here. Hit it.
All right, seriously, that is the best that we could ever make.
Yes.
But you know what? I have a fever. And the only prescription to that fever is more generosity cowbell. Let's grab our cowbells and let's rock.
Yeah.
All right, that makes us all want to get on the cowbell fun, right?
Yes.
Everybody wants a cowbell.
That's right. That was a good time. So next guest, why don't we talk about more about we kind of introduced you guys, but why don't we talk about your nonprofit there, Jason?
Oh,
Well,
sure. Yeah.
Throw you into the fire. I
There
didn't
we
even give
go.
him a heads up,
Nice.
but he's always ready.
Yeah.
So first off, reintroduce your nonprofit. Let's start there.
Yeah. So I work with Crew, or Campus Crusade for Christ International. So we're a large college ministry on
Okay.
not just here in North Dakota, but nationwide and actually globally. We're on about 190 some different countries.
Wow. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah, it's been around 1951 is when it started
Okay.
at UCLA, and then quickly spread across the country and
Yeah.
the globe from there.
So what's kind of your guys' focus? Obviously, we're familiar with the campus ministry type thing, but tell us kind of how you got started in Minot and what kind of how your focus is, where your focus is here in Minot.
Yeah, so our biggest heart with the ministry is we want every student on every campus to know somebody who knows, every student on every campus to have a chance to know what it means to truly follow Jesus.
Okay.
And
Very
so,
good.
you know, that's if a student comes in and they've been a strong Christian, like all through youth group and church and all that growing up,
Mhm.
we've got stuff to help them continue to grow in their faith when they're in college. If it's somebody who's like, I'm just trying to figure out what I believe,
Yeah.
we have stuff for them to help point them to a faith in Christ. And then if it's even students who don't have a faith and they're just like, hey, I want a good, safe community,
Mhm.
some fun people to hang out with,
Right.
we have stuff for them as well.
Wow. Very neat. Very neat. And so you are on Minot State. You guys hold weekly things at Minot State, or
We do. So we're on the Minot State campus, but our weekly gathering, we actually use the Youth for Christ building, the
Okay.
Rock.
Yeah.
It's just a couple blocks south of the campus.
gotcha.
We love Minot State. We've got a phenomenal relationship with the administration and the campus activities group and
Yeah.
all that. But there just isn't really a conducive place on campus
Right.
that works. Either it's way too big,
Yeah.
and our group, even though we have 60, 70 students,
Mhm.
just it either feels like we're too small in that big
And
space.
Nicole Nelson Hall might be a little bit large for that.
Yes. Yeah, or it's a classroom.
Yeah.
And then students like, we've been in class all day.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Want a different environment.
Yeah. So Youth for Christ, they've been super generous by letting us use their space.
That's neat. That's neat.
Yeah.
So, where do people find you at? Like, how do you get involved in this?
So if you're a student on the campus, I mean, we have, we really want students to feel like it's a student-led ministry.
Right.
So we're always trying to empower students to lead and take those steps of faith to really own the ministry.
Yeah.
We wish we could keep them around for years and years and years, but
Right.
we know the reality. We have students 4 or 5, sometimes 6.
Yeah.
I was one of those 6-year students to
Okay.
get my 4-year undergrad degree. But
Yeah. We've all been there.
yeah, so we love, for the time that we have them, we want to give them those opportunities to grow and be stretched in their faith and their leadership and their opportunities.
Yeah.
So there's word of mouth is the biggest. Like
Okay.
students invite their friends, they bring their friends to things.
Yeah.
Posters on campus, social media. Our Instagram account is the most active right now because that's a lot of where students live.
Okay.
Yeah, so
And
all those things.
How many students? I feel like I seen a picture like at your house, and you had like, I mean, it looked like there was over 50 kids there. I mean, there was a lot of kids. It seemed like at one of your events that you had.
Oh yeah. So for the last couple of years, we've been doing. So we have some very generous ministry partners. Who
I'm
give us-
understanding before you jump into that. You said 50, 60 kids.
That's what I thought.
I'm understanding why
Yeah.
he's bald. It's all coming together. He's lost his hair
Yes.
because of this.
Yeah, right.
You hang out with 56.
Yeah,
50
at,
to-
at, at his home.
At his
There was a
home,
picture
yeah.
At his home.
Yeah.
I was like,
it all
what?
makes sense now.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah, because before we moved to the Rock, we were meeting at our house. Because after the flood in 2011, we rebuilt our house with ministry
Okay.
intent.
Wow.
Like blew
That's
out some
neat.
walls,
That's neat.
added on a living room, and
Yeah.
we can fit 45 to 50, and then it's like way too crowded.
Yeah.
And so we kind of got to that point consistently. But especially even as the school year starts, we meet in our backyard.
Okay.
So we just have a really nice backyard, and it opens up to Riverside Park.
Yeah.
And so we've got all that park space back there. So it makes it really good as the school year starts. Students can get off campus, they can come
Right.
to somebody's house, get a good home cooked meal, and then we go into whether it's a student led worship time or Bible study,
Yep.
community building things from there. And then once it gets cold, we have to move indoors. And
Yeah.
so that's when we shifted over to the rock.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Very neat. And how long, you said that it's been around since 1951, I believe. How long have you guys been in Minot?
Yeah, so our team, the Crew Northern Plains team, we're the 9 campuses,
Yep.
kind of the central and western 2/3 of North Dakota. Got started in 99.
Okay.
And so Minot's had some connections with students since about 2001. But
right.
then 2004, there was a group of students that actually got together, launched it as a club on campus.
Neat.
And then my wife, Cassie, and I, we graduated from Dickinson State in 2005.
Okay.
Moved up here. Crew offered the opportunity for us to come up
Really?
here, and we were like, Minot, that's enemy territory. We're Blue Hawks, and that's the Beavers.
Come on.
But we really felt like this is where God was calling us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we came up here in 2005 and started staffing it. And,
Neat.
yeah.
You're called the Blue Hawks? I thought it was the Chicken Hawks.
Well,
Am I wrong?
We'll
I'm not
just-
sorry. I can't.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was the Blue Hawks. That's new to me.
Right.
I've never heard them called the Blue Hawks.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Okay, I learned something every day.
Every day.
gonna leave
Oh.
that topic
Yeah.
at rest right now.
Sounds good. So they offered you straight out of college. You were involved in it in college at the Dickinson campus, or how'd you get involved in Crew?
We were, yeah. So both Cassie and I, we were super involved as students. Yeah, just really God used that ministry to help us grow in our faith and
Right.
grow in our leadership and
Yeah.
kind of calling to ministry. And we thought we would never join staff with Crew.
Okay.
We loved the ministry. We loved what our staff
Yeah.
were doing. But we're like, but that's crazy. Like
You didn't
you
go to
have
college for that.
No, not at all. Like we were both getting degrees to be counselors. And,
Okay. Yeah.
we're going to head off to grad school. But then, yeah, this opportunity came up. And so we prayed about it. And a couple days later, it was just like, yeah, that's where we're supposed to go.
That's neat.
And I'm so thankful that we did. Like,
Yep.
it's one of the best decisions we ever made 18 years ago to come up here.
Wow.
Minot's become home.
Very good.
And what was your match for today?
Oh, yeah. Our match day, 27,500.
Wow,
So a goal of 55,000.
a goal of 55. And how are you doing so far today? Do you know?
Really good. Last I checked, we were at 44,000 overall.
Wow.
So,
Wow.
yeah.
There you go.
So we're
And
getting
you still
close to
got-
the goal.
Yeah, we just got quite a few hours left.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
We're super excited for this.
Yeah. And so, and then one of the reasons we did minotghd.com is because, so, when you go on there to look, if you typed in Crew, it wasn't actually under Crew. Didn't it say Northern something, or I can't remember. Was it listed differently?
Yeah, because we're the Crew Northern Plains campuses.
Okay.
And so,
So
yeah, that's where I think it's actually been listed as like Northern Plains Crew.
okay.
Under
So
the
if you
Giving
want
Hearts
to
Day.
support the Minot one, that would be probably what you'd look for.
Yeah.
Okay. But if you're on the minotghd.com site, that's specifically for the MSU
Correct.
Crew team here.
Yeah,
Great.
because Grand Forks, they have a Giving Hearts Day page for the UND Crew.
Okay.
And we love that they're a part of this too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Athletes in Action in Fargo, which is a Crew's athletes ministry.
Oh, really?
They're a part of Giving Hearts Day too.
And you guys got some athletes in Crew.
So
Here
many
at
athletes
Minot.
this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I know one, Caleb. He's like 8'9"
Yeah,
or
Caleb
something.
from Australia. On
Yeah,
the basketball
Caleb
team.
from Australia.
Yep.
That's his tagline.
That's neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a nice guy.
Oh, he's wonderful.
Yeah. And then, yeah, that's cool.
And then like, I don't know, enough football players to make a team.
really?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. So
Wow.
we have to make a little extra food when we know the football players are showing up.
Yeah. You
We
guys should
love
get
it.
a Crew flag football team.
Oh, we totally should. We would
Could
dominate
waste
the
them.
intramurals.
Yeah, right. It's just our intramural team. It's just the
Yeah.
Christian kids.
That's right. That's right. Them choir boys.
Those choir boys show
They're
up.
taking it to them.
That'd be awesome.
That's right.
Yeah.
So really neat. Any before we transition away from that, any last words of wisdom about Crew?
Yeah, I would just say we love watching students grow in their faith. But we're not a church. We've never been a church. We never want to be a church. We are just an arm of the bigger church, the Big C
Mhm.
church. And so we love our church partnerships. We have students going to 9 different churches here in Minot on a weekly basis. And we couldn't do it without the partnerships of the local church and the body of Christ together. So we're
Absolutely.
just beyond thankful for the love and support and care that we have here in Minot and across the state. All
Yeah.
of our teams would say the
Yeah.
same thing.
And I'm thankful for groups like yours because, it's during college that they say what percentage of kids fall away from their faith. I mean, it's a large
Oh, it's
percentage.
I'm
huge.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, to be there, to find other kids that are like-minded and, and to find a group like Crew where they can grow together during those formative, 4 years, or unless it's 6, like yourself, to be there and
Hey,
find some
college was
Christian
fun.
friends.
Well, working on
hey,
12,
I can't
so-
talk. I spent 5 years at a 2-year school.
Yeah,
So,
there you go.
hey, we just like education.
Yeah, right.
Right. Right.
Yeah. We'll go with that phrase.
Yes.
We'll go with
Yes.
that.
I'm very educated.
So in a moment, I want to go and talk about Giving Hearts Day in general and that the role that it plays for you guys as nonprofits. But before we do that, we're gonna try once again to find Tim and Jason throwing some dad jokes or something at each other, something like that.
Do you know what kind of bagel can travel?
No.
A plain bagel. And you know, if you give to Minot Greater Concert Association on Giving Hearts Day, you'll help bands be able to travel up to Minot, North Dakota.
We don't need to hear about plain bagels twice.
No.
Not them flying and everything else. And that was actually another member of your guys' group, the Minot GAC. It escapes me. You bring it in.
The Greater Minot Concert Association.
There you go. The Greater Minot Concert Association. And I've heard, and I don't know if it's true, but there's a birdie in my ear that's telling me that you've got some pretty cool news coming our way.
We do, yeah. The GMYCA. That's a lot easier than saying the whole thing.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, for like 2000 is when they started. So we're at like 24, 25 years of
Wow.
bringing concerts to Minot.
To Minot. This isn't some national thing either. This is just Minot.
It's a ragtag volunteer.
That's
get together,
incredible.
bring concerts in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Newsboys concert last year. And that was like the 5th time that they've been to Minot. That's
Wow.
all through the GMYCA.
Okay.
And so our goal is just to bring in family-friendly concerts at affordable rates, so
Right.
like a whole family can go.
Okay.
We just know today with inflation and just the
killer.
cost, like it's expensive to put on concerts.
Absolutely.
And so we try to underwrite some of those costs to keep ticket prices at a good price. So yeah, we just announced today Sidewalk Profits.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
they're coming up.
Cowbell worthy. Woo!
Yeah, they're coming up April 5th. They're starting a 3-day run in North Dakota. So it'll be us and then Bismarck and then Dickinson.
Neat.
And Journey Church is hosting it for us.
Okay, Journey Church is hosting it for us. So where do we go to get tickets for that?
So just sidewalkprofits.com.
Okay.
That's going to be your easiest.
Okay.
But then, any of our social media for the Greater Minot concerts
Mhm.
have it as well.
Do they
Okay.
have group rates? And I feel like in the past you've done like, if you got a group of kids,
Yeah, there's
or
like
anything crazy like that going on.
Yeah, the most if you have 10 plus,
Oh.
we'll give group rates. And,
Okay.
Yeah, and then if you're a church and you're like, hey, we're coming in with this many people, we can negotiate and figure out that way too.
Right. Sidewalk Profits. That's cool.
Neat.
Yeah, they were here probably 6 years ago, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
They're one of those bands that just puts on a phenomenal show, like super engaging with the crowd, really energetic.
Yep. And it'll be fun at
Yeah,
Journey
they-
Church because it's a smaller venue
Yeah, it is.
and it's a
Okay.
nice venue. It's
Yep.
nice and wide, so you'd be close, and
Mhm.
the acoustics are super good in there. So that'd be fun. And April 5th, hopefully it's not a big fat snowstorm.
I hope not.
Last time,
Week
I mean,
after
the new-
Easter.
40 below wind chill with the Newsboys.
Newsboys.
Wow.
We were
But remember, it got canceled the first, right? And then the second time they came, right? Because didn't it get canceled, or did they show?
No, we were just on the verge of canceling
Oh,
it.
that's right.
And
Okay.
the Newsboys, because they love Minot, because for 20 years they've been coming up here.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we're gonna plow forward with this.
We'll
we
make
want to
it
do a
happen.
show there.
Plow forward.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Wow.
Sorry,
Those
dad
dad-
jokes
dad-
below.
yes.
Yeah.
Below.
They're getting warmed up. We'll have more coming, folks. We'll
Yeah.
have more coming. So that's really exciting. So you can just go online and get tickets for that at Sidewalks Profits.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Greater Minot is also one of the, so if you go to minotghd.com, they're one of the nonprofits that you
Yes.
can support here in town.
Yep.
And what is their goal? What is their match goal?
So our match this year we had 3,000.
Okay. Good.
Yeah. So we're just anything helps to bring the cost down on things.
Yeah. And I think
Absolutely.
that's great.
Yep, it is. So we've been talking about this GHD Giving Hearts Day. We've seen the t-shirts, we've seen all this build up for it, but what is it? And what is Giving Hearts Day? Break it down for us.
You know the details better than I do. So I'll
No,
let
you've been doing it longer though.
I know, but you're younger.
So that means you're more forgetful.
Right.
There we
Exactly.
go.
Okay. Always trying to prove a point.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. So it's a statewide day of giving.
Okay.
The Impact Foundation out of Fargo, they have a goal of just making North Dakota the most generous state in the nation.
Okay.
Brief rundown started 20 some years ago, mostly for medical. It's based out of a foundation of a hospital that closed.
Okay.
And so the money that they had made from the selling of the buildings, they could use to give grants
Yeah.
to medical groups. And then as online giving started to take off, kind of
Yeah.
2005, 2006, that era, they really started to capitalize on that. And
started to say, hey, how can we train and equip other nonprofits to be a part of this?
Right.
And so that's their goal, is to just help nonprofits do better.
Yeah, that's very neat. Very neat. And so Lori's joining us, but continuing on this, so they'll go and they'll match. So each nonprofit sets a goal that they're trying to reach. And is it just matched up to that goal? Or if you don't meet that goal, is it you don't get the match? How does that work?
So just to prove something too, just to make sure that people understand that. So the group out of Fargo, the Dakota Medical Foundation, doesn't do all of our matches.
Okay.
So basically outside of the Fargo area, they have a few that they do match, but outside of there, then they start to ask that you do a $3,000 minimum match that you got to find your own. So we ask, some of our supporters, hey, would you mind being our match fund?
Yeah.
And so that can vary quite a bit. In Greater Minot's 3,000, Dakota Hope's 10,000. So we all kind of have a variance of what our, and then we set a goal that is above and beyond that. So our goal this year was $50,000, but we had a match of 10,000.
Okay.
So anything that comes in above and beyond that still goes into the kitty, and
absolutely.
And that's the nice thing about it, is it's not real strict. They're not really like, oh, you broke a rule or anything like that. It's a giving day, and that's just a day of fun. And so that's really our emphasis, is that we're here to bring attention to all of the nonprofits.
Yeah.
And then also to raise funds.
Absolutely. That makes way more sense.
Yeah.
We're learning stuff today.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we are excited to be joined by Lori.
Hi.
Welcome to the Giving Hearts Day live stream marathon.
All right. Thank you for having us.
We saw you already today.
You did?
Yeah. Yeah. It was in a skit where there was cowbells and there was singing and all that. We got to already play that. So that was a lot of fun. But
channeling our rock star.
That's right. The inner rock stars were coming out in the group that you guys have, which is really neat. Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit, Lori.
Sure. I am here representing Camp Bentley. We are a Baptist camp located by Drake, North Dakota, off Highway 52. And we have camps for kids, for youth, for families, for adults. So I'm here representing Camp Bentley today.
Very neat. How long has Camp Bentley been around?
Since 1947. So we just are past our 75th anniversary.
Wow, that's incredible. I'm sure that was a great time.
It was, especially celebrating being together after COVID and 75 years of ministry there.
Absolutely. So how did you come about working with Camp Bentley?
Well, I guess I was kind of born into it. I was at Camp Bentley before I was a year old, because my mom was a camp nurse. So I am the third generation camper at Camp Bentley. My kids are the fourth generation in my family to be at Camp Bentley. So I am new to the staff. So I am new officially on board, but have been attending Camp Bentley most of my life.
Absolutely. So attending Camp Bentley, what are some of the fun things you guys do out there?
Well, you know what, too? I think Jason, he was a big attender. Did you
Yeah.
go to Camp Bentley?
Yep. Yeah.
Yes.
Just like Lori, I was there when I was I think 9 months old, my first time.
Wow.
Old camp.
He's an alumni of that too.
Yep.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'll let Lori kick it off and I can add some things in.
Well, sure. I mean, I always love good worship, and we have a beautiful chapel. And as a musician, it has amazing acoustics. So singing in the chapel and worshiping there is always really cool. We also have a lake, so I really enjoy water sports. So canoeing, paddle boating, pontoon boating. In my era of camping, we had sailboats that are no longer with us because they were not a successful thing in a shallow lake.
Yeah, that makes sense. That's a problem.
Yeah, it was a bit of a problem.
Where's Camp Bentley at?
Sure. If you head out Highway 52 past Felva, it is right before Drake, North Dakota.
Okay. So
45 minutes from Minot.
Very good. I always love North Dakota directions. Our first trek into North Dakota, we were in a small town. I think it was Esmond, and it was go down until you see the John Deere mailbox, take a right there, you'll see a really big tree, and turn there, and then just go straight, and you'll be able to find us. And That's North Dakota. I'm from Oregon originally. In Oregon, there's things called forests. Like you
Yeah.
have a lot. So we're like, you see a big tree, like we're probably gonna see a few of these. Nah, there's just one.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was North Dakota directions. Always works great. So you're out towards near Drake. So
Mhm.
Literally right off the highway. So that's why she didn't even say turn here, turn there.
we don't even have
No,
to.
you don't need to turn.
on
It's
your
a bunch of
mailbox.
white buildings right before Drake.
Yeah, they've
Beautiful.
done such a good job putting the metal roofs on all the buildings.
Okay.
And it's
Yeah.
white, so it just really like shines. And
That's neat.
yeah.
That's
Mhm.
neat. Camp Bentley. Yeah, you guys both participated in this growing up. What
Yeah,
are some
I did too, actually.
you did? Oh,
Yeah, I was a camp counselor there.
all right. So
Yeah,
you had
did
to
know that? Yeah, I was a camp
No.
counselor, and I'm not even Baptist.
Wow.
Well, we do welcome anyone.
I have to be Baptist to attend camp there, if I'm correct.
Right. No,
Neat.
we welcome people of all denominations, but we are
Yes.
Baptist in heritage, and our churches that sponsor us are Baptist.
Tell me about some of the funnest, most fun things that you guys did at Camp Bentley, and don't cop out. And I get it, but don't cop out and be like, "Well, we had a really great worship service this one time." Okay, don't cop out on me.
Yeah.
I want to know, like, what? Tell me some fun things that happened at Camp Bentley.
I can tell you as a camp counselor.
All right,
Okay.
lead the way.
And I just did it that one time. That's probably why. But so I had my boys in my cabin were talking about they were wanting to sneak out.
Okay.
And so I started, I told this other counselor, I was like, hey, I said, acting like, the kids couldn't hear us. And I was like, well, did you hear that the guy that lives on the farm across the lake, they finally let him out of the insane asylum.
Oh,
Yeah. So we went down that road, like,
Yeah.
and I can't believe they actually did that,
Yeah.
because, I didn't want them to sneak out
Right,
that
yeah.
night. Next thing you know, they're starting to sniffle a little bit and they're like, I want to go home tonight. I'm like, why? What's going on? Those poor kids.
Oh, that's
And
great.
that's why Tim did it 1 year.
Yeah.
You never have to do it again after that.
Right.
They're forever scared of the guy
Yeah.
across this.
I didn't
Street.
understand that lying was a sin.
Yeah.
One of those
I'll neither
Baptist
confirm
rules.
nor deny if I've been a part of any of those shenanigans.
Right. Well, and some of the really important knowledge you acquire, like how many people does it take to sink a canoe or a paddle boat, or, some of those really important life skills.
That's what you learn at Camp Bentley.
Yeah. Learn how to survive.
But
Absolutely.
I would say even in that though, like that's where some of the friendships, like it's
true.
I still have friends to this
Yeah.
day from 30 some years ago as a camper, that from some of those experiences
Yeah.
of okay, well our canoe is not coming up out of the water. How do we see
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. So, telling good stories and sinking canoes are some of the highlights of Camp Bentley.
Right.
What are some? What's I asked one of the most fun things, but what's one of the most impactful moments that you've had at Camp Bentley?
I think for me, it's usually the time around the campfire ring. I think that reflective time at the end of the day, it's dark. So, you're not afraid if you're maybe a little more tearful than normal. And just the sharing that's gone on over the years there's just those places at camp where you feel like you're just standing on holy ground of the faith
Right.
of those who have gone before and the faith of those who's upholding you now.
That's very neat. Very neat. If someone wants to support Camp Bentley, what would be the best way to do that?
Well, for minotghd.com, you can obviously donate today. We also can be found through our denomination's website at abcdakotas.org throughout the year. And we would love to have kids, families attend our camps as well. So all the information for 2024 is already on the website, abcdakotas.org, and under the Camp Bentley tab.
For Giving Hearts Day, this has been a great question that's been asked. What is your goal?
Our goal is $20,000 is our match. And so I need to do some math when I get off with you guys, but I think we're at right below that goal, like 19.5. So
Wow.
we're almost
Oh.
there.
Nice.
So far, everybody that's joined so far has been doing well. That's great to
Yes.
hear.
Yeah.
It's been a good
It's
year.
very exciting.
Okay.
It's very exciting.
Really appreciate you going all in and having the hearts in the background. That's fantastic.
Yeah, well done.
I did my best, being I kind of got, iced out of getting up there today.
Yeah,
Because where are you at right now?
I live in Bismarck, actually, even though the camp's near Minot. So I
Okay.
just couldn't make it up there today.
Yeah,
Sure.
roads are not great. So, well, really appreciate you joining us. Is there any last words of wisdom that you want to leave with us?
Just hope that you'll support all of our great charities. And if you're looking for a camp, Camp Bentley's a great place to come.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lori. And with
you.
that, we're gonna go listen to some more dad jokes.
Hopefully.
Excellent.
The Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
How did the piano get locked out of its car?
I have no idea.
It lost its keys. Do you know who else unlocks their doors? Minot Youth for Christ. Multiple times a week to help kids grow in their faith in Christ.
It's the Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
Do you know what kind of bagel can travel?
No.
A plain bagel. And you know, if you give to Minot Greater Concert Association on Giving Hearts Day, you'll help bands be able to travel up to Minot, North Dakota.
I don't know. I tried to.
All right, it's my bad. We had to listen to the plain bagel again. It just keeps coming back.
That's okay.
For a minute, I thought we were gonna go to somebody else online, but we were gonna adjust and go to you,
Pivot.
Tim. Yeah, that's what these are all about, pivoting.
Yep.
But this is our marathon that we're doing for Giving Hearts Day. Neat little live stream, and one of the people that we're thankful for is Dakota Hope Clinic. So tell us a little bit about what goes on there at Dakota Hope.
Sure. Yep. Dakota Hope is a local pregnancy help center here in Minot that's been here for 10 years. We've been open since 2013 as of September, so a little over 10 years now. And we're located at 315 South Main Street inside the main medical building. And we do pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, parenting classes, and we have actually quite a few different programs that we also do, post-abortive programs, abuse programs, things like that. So we help in many different areas. And and we also now, it was a year in October that we opened up a new location in Tioga. I like Tioga. I like to say that.
Yeah.
And it's a mini clinic, a satellite clinic that's over there that we also offer the same services. So pregnancy tests, ultrasounds, the classes. And then we also have a new location that we just opened in September up in Botno, offering the same services there and servicing those areas. Cause we realize, some of these smaller rural areas, they have the same needs. And so we tried to figure out a way that we can reach those areas. And one of the things that we do that I think is really beneficial to our community is that we have this big array of classes that they can take that's called Earn While You Learn. And Earn While You Learn classes, anything from, how to put out a grease fire to, relationships to whatever. And they're 5 minutes long to maybe 30 minutes long. And you can we do them on your phone and you can do them in person. And then when you complete any of those, then you earn points, and then you can build up those points, and they spend like dollars in our baby boutique. And our baby boutique has all brand new items. So of course, diapers and clothes and toys and things like that. And I think we go up to size like 3T, 4T, so we're there to help with all ages too.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a big part of Dakota Hope too, is then we encourage both parents, actually the mom and the dad, to participate in that Earn While You Learn class, because then they both earn points.
Okay.
And so they can really double up fast. And then, and the big part about that's really been beneficial is that it's things that, we as parents already wish we would have had when we were parenting our children,
right?
And how to rear children. And then just, all these really good educational things that, how to help children that are maybe throwing tantrums, and
right.
How to get along with your significant other, and just, even classes like that. So our goal there too is just to really to improve the family unit. When we say a pregnancy help center, people just right away assume we're just all about the babies, or they'll even accuse us that all we care about is the babies. We're there for the family unit and for the betterment of the whole.
Right.
And that affects our community. You know, when you get families that are staying together and working together, and and so we see a tremendous amount of benefit from those classes.
So at what point are you able to start helping someone? Is it just when they are in that moment that they have the pregnancy, they're trying to figure out the next steps, or do you also help outside of that time frame?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, from the moment they think they're pregnant, they can come and get tested, or after they've already had the children, you know, they can come in afterwards too and start taking classes and earning those points at that point in time and spend them in our baby boutique.
Very
and
neat.
so timing wise, really, and this is the one thing too that I like to point out is that a lot of people think that we're like a crisis pregnancy center. So like we're there just in case everything's, you know, the sky is falling. Actually, the majority of our clientele that comes in are maybe just needing help monetarily. You know, diapers are not cheap, and
They are not.
so you know the majority of the people that come in are happy.
Yeah.
And so it's not always the down and out story that people assume.
Right.
You know? And then too, a lot of people assume like the majority of people that we maybe see are teenagers. Actually, ours is probably the average is more like 22.
Okay.
Yeah, and not always college girls either, but I mean it's kind of a little bit older than what people would assume.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have, you know, a lot of really great stories. So I mean, people that will come in and we give them all their options. We talk about all the options, including abortion, but we don't supply, we do not refer, we will not even tell them where abortion clinics are. We will not even, you know, but we tell them what happens during one, and then also the repercussions afterwards. And this is according to facts that are out there. There's no fear mongering, but we give them all the facts and give them all the details, and then we let them decide.
Yep.
We're a Christian-based organization, so we point them in the direction that we believe is highest and best for them. And so many times, you know, they come in and, you know, they just have not had anybody really encouraging them, that, you know, in the direction that, you know, would be highest and best for them. We live in a society right now that if I'm your friend, I'm just going to agree with you all the time and what's you think is best. And so we find that if a young woman comes in and she's encouraged by someone, you know, like us, or a male especially has a lot of influence, if they're encouraged, like, hey, we're here to help you through this, and not just to have the baby, but in those first few years, it goes up to 90% that they'll change their mind. And we keep track of this. That's why we do that. And so we keep track of that. And we just had a really great story that just yesterday that a client came in and told us that, you know, and she wanted to let us know that she had changed her mind. She had told us, no, I can't do this. I'm going to go get an abortion. And then she came back yesterday and just told us that she just really felt like what we told her was encouraging, and she changed her mind and has decided to parent. And
wow.
Yeah. And it's stories like that are just like a boost in the arm.
Yeah.
You know,
the thing is though, Tim, is whenever we talk, it seems like you have a new story like that.
Yeah.
It's never the one, oh yeah, in 2022, we were able to help this person. And it's like this one impactful story. It seems like every single time we talk, there's another story that's come up with somebody else that has made that decision, which is really neat.
Yep.
Speaks to the impact of what you guys do.
Yep. And it is, and it's exciting, you know, and because there is the days too when we have tough ones.
Absolutely.
And then so we have to roll with the punches, you know, and see the silver lining. We did have one that came in that was a girl that was trafficked.
Wow.
And she's pregnant, and that's tough.
Yeah, that's difficult.
But the silver lining will come when that baby does too, because you know, it's doom and gloom when you hear that story, but life in the form of that baby changes it all.
It does.
It really does. And so that's the excitement that we're looking forward here in a few months when she has that baby.
Absolutely. Talk about your team. You guys have an incredible team over there at Dakota Hope.
Yeah, we do. Our director is Nadia Smetana, which is easy to say that 5 times real fast. And she's from Lansford, North Dakota.
There you go.
And she married a neighbor boy 4 miles away, and they've never moved any further than that. So she's lived there all her life.
Wow.
And she is amazing. And she's actually a retired nurse, and but never retired. And she helped start Dakota Hope 15 years ago. And we had a director for a while. Then, and when she left, Nadia stepped in as an interim, and that was like 7 years ago.
Oh, have you guys taken off the interim title?
Yep. She actually gets paid now. And so, yeah. And so she is our fearless leader. And man, alive, I've never worked with anybody better.
Yeah.
She is so good. And so from the top down, you know, I mean, Nadia and myself, I'm director of development. And then we have front end staff. I mean, everybody is such a key in this. I mean, our front end staff, you know, we got 1, 2, 3, 4 nurses, one traveling nurse that right now has been traveling to Tioga and Botno.
I think this is something that gets overlooked though. Like this is not just, and there's nothing wrong with it, but this is not just purely a volunteer organization where people are just helping out. These are legit certified people that are involved in this in different ways.
Yes. And for sure. And our nurses, you know, so we pay them and we want to pay them well. Right. Because we want them to, and they don't just come to work for us because it's a job. It's their passion also. Yeah. But we got, you know, we pay them for their experience and we pay them for their knowledge. Right. And we also have doctors locally that are pro bono because we don't need doctors on site, but we have doctors that will be there in case we have an ultrasound that maybe is questionable. So what we do is we pass it on to the doctor and the doctor will see it and actually help them. That makes sense. And so, yeah, I mean, this is the crazy thing is even though we have, you know, the nurses and we actually have now what do you call it? A volunteer coordinator. That's a paid position. So we have paid positions, but you know, so we have a fairly large payroll. Right. But of the funds that come in, this is important for a lot of people to know, is that still 70% of our income goes towards programs, which is above the national average on, you know, for nonprofits. Because they always want to know like how much money is the CEO getting. Right. Yep. Those evil CEOs. That's right. And so the nice thing about that is like still a large 70% or more. That's huge. Yeah, goes to programming. And so, and what that means is that, you know, that goes to, you know, educating, you know, doing all these services, paying the bills, you know, all that stuff. But it's important that people know that we run a tight ship and we, you know, in fact, I just left a finance committee meeting at noon. You know, I sent out a letter this end of the year to do a letter of confidence, letting people know what we do to make sure that our money is being used wisely. Right. Who looks over it, making sure that it's not just 1 or 2 people. There's a whole army of people that we want to make sure. So that way, when Nadia does retire, if I pass on, whatever, that that they're stepping into a well-oiled machine that when people's donations they're making today are going to be a legacy and can be confidently used for years to come. Yeah, that's great. You've asked most everybody else. What's your match goal? Yeah, $10,000 was our match, and it was given by one person. Incredible. Wow. Yeah, what a blessing. I mean, and and we have met our match, and I was just told too that we have surpassed that, and we've actually met our goal already. Wow. Our goal was $50,000. And I'm just I get to do the cowbell. The cowbell. Yeah, that's right. And, so we're just blessed, and it's super exciting. And I found out during our finance committee meeting that, you know, we surpassed our goal, and it was nice because we were just talking about like, wow, you know, times are tough, times are tight, you know, but you know, hopefully things are going to start rolling in. And then I got this text, I'm like, praise the Lord. Yeah. So yeah, we're super excited.
And that's what you said. It was one person who gave the 10,000. Yeah. Like that's a testament to like your steadfastness. Right. You know, Dakota Hope's been around 10 years. Yep. You know, and so you've built these relationships, and people see, oh, this isn't just a fly by night. Right. Like no, they're quality. They put their money where their mouth is. They're doing these things. Yeah. Right. So that one person says, I believe enough that I can give 10 grand. Right. Like that's awesome. It is, and it's amazing how, we see lots of that. You know, through what we do, people get behind what we do. We just finished up another non-profit or a big fundraiser at the end of the year, and we had the same kind of scenario there too, where people were confident enough to, you know, really support that. And we started this endowment, which for people that don't know how an endowment works, but it's money that you put into an account that earns interest, but you can't take out the principal. You can't take out the money you get. Yeah. So eventually, when that money that's put in builds up enough interest, then you can take the interest out. Right. You know, and it's kind of hard when you're smaller and you're getting started, and, you know, somebody wants to put $10,000 in an endowment. It's like, well, we could use it right now though. Right. You know, so it's kind of hard. Like when do you start building these? But we had a group of people that put in $50,000 into our endowment at the end of the year. Wow. Yeah. And it more than doubled our endowment because we didn't have that much in there. Wow. So
confidence is really starting to build. And that's, putting, your mouth, or what's that saying? Put
Money where your mouth is.
money where your mouth is. That's
Boom.
yeah. Good job. Man,
Yeah.
with the words.
It's,
And
it's
so-
that young brain going to work right there.
I know, right? I got to shave my head too. And then
It's
So-
convenient.
it is convenient. And especially when it's cold out.
Yeah.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, but mine stays warm with all my hair. And so, sorry, Whew, ADD. Where are we talking about? Money. Yes. And so confidence,
Right.
and
It's
and
huge.
that's Giving Hearts Day. I think we start to see that, and it's interesting. You retain facts better. How many people on average give to more than one nonprofit, or some fact like that?
Yeah. It's something like, I think 3.4. So like the average amount of gifts, like one person gives to 3.4.
Wow.
So more than
groups.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you see like, here's the, so last year was like 26 million that was
Yeah.
given to Giving Hearts, or given on Giving Hearts Day.
Yep.
To the 500 some groups. And yeah, it was like X number of donations, but then the amount of people is like less than that.
Wow.
So you just see like, wow, people really want to be generous to multiple groups.
Yeah. And
That's
we had
neat.
a lady that came actually and dropped off. She didn't want to, she just dropped off a stack of checks at Dakota Hope. And there was like 7 of them. And for, a bunch of different people in our nonprofit.
That's
So,
neat.
she gave like 7 checks,
Right.
And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
That is really neat. Somebody wants to support Dakota Hope. Where do they go?
Yep. So dakotahope.org. But, today, of course, if you go to mynotghd.com and give through the Giving Hearts Day site, then that will go right through our end game. And the reason now, too, even though we met our goal, Dakota Medical Foundation is really good, and Giving Hearts Day is really good about like giving out lots of extra prizes.
Okay.
So like if you're a nonprofit, does more, like if you double, or,
Yep.
there's all these contests that they
All
have. So
right.
best use of social media, best whatever. Some of the banks in town, so the thing is so like when people still continue to give to us above beyond that, it puts us into the running for additional
Yeah.
money to be won
That's neat.
or awarded. So like even like Gate City Bank, I mean, I think they've given like $150,000.
Yeah. And last year they gave away $100,000 one. It was like
To
100,000, a 20,000, a
That's
10,000.
huge.
Like, yeah.
It's crazy. So there's a lot of potential, and it's right here in town. Last year, Men's Winter Refuge.
Yeah. Who I think Mike's going to be on pretty soon.
Yeah.
We should
All right.
make sure we ask him about
Yeah.
it.
So
Okay.
that was a
Yeah.
big deal. So we won't ruin
We won't ruin the
this.
surprise. But
Yeah.
instead, what we will do, listen to some more dad jokes.
Yes. Snowbank.
The Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
How do you cook an alligator?
I have no idea.
In a crock pot. Do you know that if you give to Camp Bentley, they will use funds to help get kids to summer camp in a lake that does not have alligators?
You got one more plan?
I got another one.
All right.
Here we go.
The Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
So what did one volcano say to the other?
I have no idea.
I lava you. Do you know that if you give to Prairie Grit Adaptive Sports, there will be lots of people. Do you know that if you give to Prairie Grit Adaptive Sports on Giving Hearts Day, they will lava you too?
It's the Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
Jason, you know what you call a can opener that doesn't work?
What?
A can opener. But you know what you can do on Giving Hearts Day? You can give canned goods and financial donations to the Salvation Army.
It's the Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
What did the kid say to his fingers?
What?
I'm counting on you. Did you know that YouthWorks is counting on you to be generous this Giving Hearts Day?
So, you guys did a few of those.
Yeah.
Did we ever have some retakes because somebody actually did laugh? Because it
They're
seems like
pretty
you got.
corny.
Seems like you.
Yeah.
Seems
But
like you.
we had the one retake because of somebody honking right in the middle
Oh.
of our
Yes.
interview.
But I thought that was good the way Jason just went.
It was.
Oh, it was awesome. And then like, Tim, you structured like, hey, we got fans.
Yeah.
And we did. Like they saw us, they knew us, and they honked. And
Yeah. When you're sitting out on right next to Burdick Expressway and Main Street,
Yeah.
and heart suits, people tend to notice.
although we did do some retakes because of the cold. So we had this bright idea. Okay, there's only 13 in the collaborative. These are 30-second videos. That's what, 7 minutes total? Even though it's like 20 below wind chill, we're just going to book it out there, just knock them out. Yeah. 2 videos in, I literally couldn't speak. Like my brain was working, and
it was windy, and oh my gosh, it was horrible. I mean, our fingers hurt. So we got maybe 1.5 jokes done.
Maybe, yeah.
Oh no.
So
It's horrible.
And we've done some pretty crazy things in these Giving Hearts Day video adventures over the last few years.
Especially some of Habitat.
Yes, we really enjoyed it when you came to the Habitat builds. I was reviewing those videos this morning, and
the old ones.
Man, yeah. You guys were trying to. We had bare wiring, and Tim was trying to test it. Yep. In fact, I took a still shot of the one where you guys are outside one of our houses and you're mowing in the snow.
Yep.
And at the same time, Jason's coming across with a Habitat sign. It was just crazy. Yeah.
It's been fun.
And you let us come back the second year.
We did. We did.
Like,
and we
OSHA
invited.
Didn't shut you down because
no. Oh, maybe OSHA didn't see those.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes. Yeah, it's unfortunate we weren't able to get you to the build this year, but it's not bare. It's pretty much finished, and painting is what needs to be done yet. So, but we could have put you.
Information. He's got to introduce you.
Oh, we got a new voice, a new person that has joined us in studio. Welcome, Roxy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Tell us a little bit about your nonprofit.
We are Habitat for Humanity Northern Lights in Minot, and we build and improve homes for low-income families. And so basically, when we're not building, we do things like wheelchair ramps, some home preservation items, repair items. But right now, we're working on a 4-bedroom handicap accessible home. And I love doing wheelchair ramps. I love, for so many people, that's a matter of going home or not going home.
Right.
So
absolutely. So your guys' process, is it just building a new home, or is it just helping with certain needs? How do you guys help out families?
Well, our main mission is to build new homes.
Okay.
We do occasionally get some repair homes or rehab homes that we take on and we build. And then, yes, we start searching for families that are in that low to moderate income families. And then they have to have the ability to pay their mortgage because the homes are not free, as many people assume. They have to be able to make a mortgage payment, but it's a very low mortgage payment. We hold the mortgage with 0% interest.
Wow.
Yep. So that helps immensely, especially with interest rates going up.
Tell a realtor that.
Right. A realtor Tim. And then they buy the house for what Habitat has into it. So there's no markup or anything like that.
That's crazy. Yeah. Very neat. So how did you guys get started in Minot? Do you know tell us a little bit about the history of Habitat for Humanity?
It started in 97, and there was a group of people that realtors and bankers and the executive director of the Minot Association of Home Builders, they all decided that they wanted to open a chapter of Habitat for Humanity, and it's survived, even through the flood. I wasn't there at that time, but Habitat went out and helped with some flood recovery as well in the meantime, since we weren't building at that time. It was even as much as building a shed for a homeowner that didn't have a house.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And it's just grown from there.
Yes. We are still a pretty small affiliate.
Yeah.
We do not have a restore in Minot, which most people ask for. And that's where it's a secondhand store in larger affiliates where they sell used doors and doorknobs, paint, things like that.
Well, if somebody wants to give, $100,000 donation to Habitat for Humanity, maybe we can make that happen today.
Yeah. Yes. Because I get that question a lot. Where is your restore? I need a door.
Right.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, so they would get like
plumbing fixtures, doors,
that kind of stuff
sinks.
too.
Oh yeah, all building
Oh,
materials.
Building
Yes.
material
Yep.
stuff.
There
So
is
not
one.
just like clothes and things. I was thinking
No,
like,
no, and they
oh,
rarely have any clothes or anything like that. It's
That's way
Habitat
neat.
build things. Yes, in Moorhead, Minnesota, there's a really nice big one,
really?
and yeah, it's if you're looking for some home repair, need a light fixture, you know, you can
Interesting.
go to that
So
store.
then people would donate, like,
Mhm.
would it be used doors and things like that? And then people would come and buy them. And
Many,
like a thrift
many are
store?
used, but there are some larger box stores that have to unload some light fixtures or things
Sure.
like that. So they
Sure.
donate those things too, or some doors that are just odd sizes, or it's the last one and they're discontinuing it. So there can be some new in the box items as well.
That's interesting. I did not know that. And I've known you all these years. And
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
something new to us. So
Yeah.
did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Oh,
That just goes. We're talking about the joy of the collaborative.
Right.
That we all get to learn
Yes.
more about the nonprofit world in Minot.
yeah.
That really has been a joy of us joining together as the collaborative. It's been a lot of fun when we go out to speak to groups and things like that. We learn more and more about each other. And then if somebody's missing at a meeting, we can speak on their behalf because we
Yep.
learned.
Very much.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what's been really good is that learning all these intricacies about each other. And then I think, especially as a community, when we learn more about all the resources that are available,
Mhm.
then we're more apt to help people because, hey,
That's the
I
truth.
can help. You know,
Right.
and even if I can't help personally, it's like, yeah, call Roxy at Habitat.
I know
or,
someone.
I know
Yep.
someone is
Mhm.
and that's the key word, right? That should be our new model for our.
I know someone.
Get the
It
t-shirts.
is a good one, isn't
That
it?
is good.
Minot GHD collaborative. I know someone.
Yep. I don't know, but I know someone.
Yeah. Yeah.
There you
I
go.
Like that a lot.
I'm
So-
not afraid to say I don't know.
Right. So now, like long term, I'm curious as a realtor,
Mhm.
and this mortgage, like how long before it's theirs, and they're just like, you know what, you don't have to worry about it anymore.
We normally do a 20-year term.
20?
Yes.
Wow.
If the payments are really tight or their loan to debt ratio is really tight, then we can move it out to 25. But we like to do 20 years so we can start recouping the
Yeah.
money and build more houses, repair more
That
houses.
is awesome. That is really cool.
How do you actually qualify for this?
Well, we have 5 selection criteria. The first one is the ability to pay, of course, since you will be buying the house. The need for adequate housing, that you fit the income limits, which is determined by HUD. So, and then you have to be a resident of Minot. And then the biggest challenge sometimes is you have to put in 250 hours of sweat equity
There you
into
go.
the house.
I like that.
Yes, and we are pretty particular about that. We want to see some dedication. We want to see some sweat. We want to see some love and some tears, and so that you really feel like you are part of the build, part of the house, and hopefully
Ownership.
we'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Ownership, exactly.
So, so the 5. What was the second one you said? The first criteria is or
Need.
need.
Yep.
And by need, so do you always build a brand new one, or will you renovate a house? Or is it always brand new?
No, we have been gifted a few houses or bought a few houses that are rehabs.
Interesting.
So the house that we're working on right now, it was a flooded house.
Mhm.
And then we rebuilt the house in 14 for a family that was living in a 2-story, split level house. They had a child in a wheelchair.
Oh,
And so that's why when we found the family, we were able to modify like the bathroom to make it wheelchair accessible. And then one doorway, their bedroom doorway.
Yeah.
And then built the beautiful wheelchair ramp for them.
wow. So if
Yep.
somebody wants to apply, or like, where would we direct them to, like a website? Or-
Minot.habitat@hotmail.com is my email. And then minothabitat.org is our website.
Okay.
Very neat. Wow,
Mhm.
we've learned a lot in just like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Didn't take long at all.
No.
So, what are like how many houses, or what are some of the most exciting stories that you have over the last many years?
I think the one with the child in the wheelchair is
Yeah.
probably the biggest one. That was such an impactful thing for that family because they had to physically carry her up a flight of stairs
Right.
before.
Mhm.
And so that family has recently left the state. And so we bought the house back, and that's why we're putting a new family into it. We have one family that her testimony is, I wake up every day grateful for my home. I know. Doesn't that make you choke up?
Why?
Yeah.
Why does she? Because She knew someone, or someone knew someone.
Yeah.
Someone knew someone.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And her house was built close to the floodplain. And she closed on it just a few weeks before
Oh no.
and didn't even get moved in. Oofta.
That's hard.
She was really stressed
So
out.
she may have not even gotten FEMA money. That's hard.
Right. Probably not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And then what is your match goal this year?
Well, our match raised was $8,240.
Oh,
So we've just doubled the goal to $16,480.
okay.
All
Great.
right. There has to be a reason. If we're going that specific, there has to be a reason.
You know, some people just donate 50, some 40. You know, one year it was 15.
Yep.
You know, that throws
So
it over
you got
there.
multiple people that
Right.
donated to your match. Is
Oh,
what
yes.
happens. Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not just one
There
person.
we go.
So,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah, we've been very blessed on
Because you know people.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, but I know somebody.
Yeah.
Yeah, on New Year's Eve we had an angel that I think decided they needed a tax break.
Yeah.
Right.
So it was fun to get that email.
Thank God for taxes.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll do that. I don't
Yeah.
know. But where are you at on your match? You met it yet?
Oh, when I last checked, we were 34%.
Good.
Yep.
Good for you guys.
Yes.
So you
Yeah.
got a little bit to go, and it's we got
A
give or
lot of
take
day yet.
9 hours left to go.
Mhm.
So you guys got to go to mynotghd.com and find Northern
Habitat for Humanity, Northern Lights.
Lights, and then make a donation there,
Yes.
and then that's awesome.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, this has been thrilling.
Yes. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for stopping by the studio.
And it was great to see our ambassadors again.
Yes.
They're everywhere.
I
They're
know.
Mostly on Verdict telling dad jokes, but they're also other places. But all right. Well, you were the first one to stop by the studio today, so huge thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah.
You guys have
Cowbell.
a wonderful day.
That cowbell on it right there. With that, we got more dad jokes for you.
The Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
What kind of games do kids play when they have nothing else to do?
I don't know.
Board games. Do you know if you give the Dakota Hope this Giving Hearts Day, you're going to make the board and the staff extremely happy for your generosity?
It's the Tim and Jason Snowman Show.
How many apples can you grow on a tree?
I don't know.
All of them. And just like on Giving Hearts Day, Men's Winter Refuge can enjoy the fruit of your donation.
Yeah, so we can write mine at the Daily News.
All right. We are back from more dad jokes.
Well,
How'd you guys go about finding them?
well, there's this crazy thing called the interweb.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what was used. You guys didn't write them all
Pull
yourself?
up the Google.
Pull up the Google.
Yep.
I typed it in the Google, and this is what I found. We have another guess. If they're still around, perhaps be Tessa. Welcome, Tessa.
There she is.
It's so good to have you today.
Yes, I'm glad to be here. This is
We're glad you
exciting.
are here.
I love Giving Hearts Day.
I'm loving it more and more as we've gone through this hour plus. It's been way interesting to learn about a lot of the different nonprofits going on in Minot and about how Giving Hearts Day works. So let's focus on yours for the next few minutes, Tessa. What nonprofit are you with?
YouthWorks.
YouthWorks. Tell us a little bit about it.
So YouthWorks serves runaway, homeless, trafficked youth across the state of North Dakota. We operate in not only the Minot community, but we have offices in Bismarck, Fargo, Grand Forks, and Dickinson as well. So, we serve youth from all four corners of the state.
Do people realize how well North Dakota is covered by these nonprofits? Almost every single one that we've had on has several locations throughout North Dakota. Like we're a small state. We have 700,000 people or so, right? But there's a lot of people doing a lot of great things in this state that probably don't get enough recognition.
Yeah, and I think one thing that's important to note too is that, we have such rural communities too in the state of North Dakota. And so it's really important that we're outreaching and connecting to those more rural communities as well. So,
That's very good point there. So we learned a little bit about your nonprofit, but exactly what do you guys do? Like, what are some of the stories that you might be able to share of success and things like that?
yeah, so YouthWorks began in 1987 as Mountain Plains Youth Services. First office opened in Bismarck. So, as you can imagine, from there, programs have progressed, funding opportunities have expanded. The majority of our programming is funded by the federal government. We have money from the Federal Youth Services Bureau, as well as from RIDE, Runaway and Homeless Youth. We have HUD dollars as well, so money from Housing and Urban Development. Specifically in the Minot community, we operate two primary programs. We have an emergency shelter for young people 17 and under. So those young people come to us through a couple of different avenues, but essentially it's a safe place for those youth to go if they're in between placements, if they've blown out of a foster home or otherwise just need a safe place to go. The average stay, I'd say, for a young person between, we have young people 12 years old through 17. The average amount of time they stay is about 7 days. And so we're fortunate in having funding from our local human service zone. They fund that project for us, the majority of it. So in our other program, which is newer, we actually established the transitional housing in 2022 for homeless young adults. So the transitional housing program that was established in October of 2022, we have a 6-bedroom unit. It's like an over-under duplex. And so there's 3 bedrooms up, 3 down, and it's all shared space for those young people. But we can support up to 6 young adults at a time with the housing. In addition to that, right, they get all of the case management supports and all of that good stuff. So that program is up and doing well, and I've been really fortunate to be. I've been in this position, and I've been doing this specific job for a little over 5 years now. So I started in the Bismarck area. Bismarck is my home. That's where I'm from.
Welcome to your new home, though.
Yeah, and then I was in Fargo for a year, and I actually supervised the homeless program that we have there for that year. And one distinction too about the homeless programming in Minot, Bismarck, and Fargo is that our Bismarck and Fargo communities, they serve young families as well. So we do have units that are specific to, a young mom between 18 and 21 years old who might have a child. So hopefully we're there one day in Minot, and that's an expansion of our program as well. But so I was fortunate enough to also come to Minot in October of 2022 and help get this program established. So
If there's somebody that's in need or that is wanting to learn more, how do they find out about that in Minot?
that's a good question. We are very active on social media, Facebook, Instagram. I wouldn't say so much of TikTok. We're getting there. There's a couple floating around today, I think, from our Bismarck and Fargo offices. They're having a good time making those TikToks for Giving Hearts Day. We are easily reachable. Like our office, we're located in the main medical building downtown Minot. And contact information is readily available, easily found. A call, a text, an email. If you have a trusted adult or if there's somebody who's referring you and is willing to help make that call with you, we do what we can to best meet the needs of youth for where they are, right? So if getting to our office to meet with us to get information is a challenge, then we'll meet them where they are and figure out how best we can get that information to them. So if we're meeting with them in another service provider's office, or we're doing a Zoom call, just to make that challenge a little bit easier for them.
Absolutely. Ask the question, Tim.
All right. So what is your match goal? I know, are you doing it just for the Minot area, or is it for the state as a match?
Statewide.
Statewide match. And what was your match for statewide goal?
26,000.
26,000. Wow.
Yes.
And then so where are you guys at so far? You know?
We've surpassed our match, which is phenomenal. Yeah.
I know. There.
It's time.
Yep.
Cowbell time.
I think we are right around. So our overall goal is 100,000, which is, it's pretty incredible. We are right around, I think, 61 as for total. Wow. So
yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm sure most folks will know too, but some of the more busier times for the donations occur in the later evening hours when folks are off work and all that good stuff. So we're really excited. Yeah, I think we're sitting really well.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
Way exciting. If somebody wants to support you, what's the best next step for them besides going to minotghd.com? Obviously, that's the next best one. But
yeah, I mean, even just dropping off donations, just coming to our office, anything is helpful. A lot of times we're looking for specific donations. Like in the summertime, we're looking for bicycles for our young people to be able to get to school and work, hygiene items, food. We have a very, very small pantry in our office, but we like to keep that stocked with non-perishable food items that are easy for folks to have when they maybe don't have access to a fridge or a microwave. So just some of those more easy foods.
Right. Very cool.
Yes.
Sounds good. And that office is located downtown in the main medical building, right?
Yes, sure is.
They got hopes there. YouthWorks is turning into a nonprofit empire at the main medical. All right. Well, really thank you for joining us today, Tessa. It's been really interesting to learn more about YouthWorks.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
No problem.
Good to see you
as well. Good work. We're going to keep it rolling because we got another guest. They are ready.
All right.
So we're going to introduce Mike Zimmer.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome, Mike.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Good.
So tell us a little about the Men's Winter Refuge.
Yes, sir. First of all, thanks for having me. The Men's Winter Refuge is a men's homeless shelter in Minot. It's a 12-bed men's homeless shelter we've been around for 10 years. This is our 10th winter of operations, and we've sheltered just a little over 1,600 guys in those 10.
Wow.
So
160 a year.
And you don't even keep that many in your house at a time, right? I mean, how many do you keep in there?
we have 12 beds. So
12 beds.
And
You serve 1,600 people.
1,500 guys also includes the 2 year for 2 years the house was closed because of COVID. So during those 2 years we used hotel rooms.
Wow.
At a bigger capacity during those 2 years. We actually helped during the 2 years of COVID. We helped over 150 guys each.
That's crazy.
It is.
Amazing.
And I know just from, the years of participating with the collaborative, I have pointed questions that are rhetorical because I know the answer to them, but I want you to tell us, because a lot of times people, when they hear, like a homeless shelter or whatever, but there's requirements in order for them to actually come stay with you. Is that correct?
Yes. Our shelter is 100% clean and sober shelter. You have to be sober every night when you show up. And also prior to being admitted, you have to pass a background check, which the very basic disqualifiers are sex felonies, violent felonies, and we don't accept anybody that has active warrants. So those are the automatic disqualifiers, and but we still obviously help a lot of guys had some trouble in their past, and a lot of guys who are in recovery. It's the, the rules that we have, requirements for admission were set up before I started by the
Yeah.
shelter. We had another director before me, and they did a great job of setting it up. Because we're basically volunteer run,
Volunteer man.
me, and the rules were put in place for the safety of the staff and the volunteers, basically. But over the years, I've heard from so many guys who are appreciative of the rules that we have because they understand it's for their safety. So
Yeah.
And with only 12 beds, we stay pretty close to full most of the time anyway. So even with our requirements,
And I know you just, in fact, right before you came on here, you're out hauling guys around because don't you have to, you can't stay there during the day. You got to be out at a job. You can't just, right? I mean, you got to have a job in place.
Guys are allowed to stay here at night. And that's something I only know about shelter before I started this job, but I've learned that's pretty typical of shelters everywhere. There's we use that motivation for work. So
very interesting.
Basically, our basic mission is basically 3 parts: get them indoors so they're safe, get a job, and once home.
Yeah.
3-step mission, and it works great for us.
Absolutely. Very neat. What's your match goal this year with Giving Hearts Day?
Our match was 5,000, and our goal is 10,000, and we pretty much have set a goal of 10,000 every year. Yeah, that's we're not to the point yet where we have a huge donor base. So to the 10,000, about 5 or 6 years ago, our board and myself just came up with 10,000 as kind of a lofty goal at that time, and it's turned out to be a really good number for us. There's been a few years where we barely made it. There's been a few years where we barely missed it, and this year it looks like we're in pretty good shape. We've already surpassed our match, and looks like we're about 60% of the way to our total goal of 10,000 for the day. So
that's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Cowbell time.
All right.
You make that match goal. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. It's every dollar we get is a blessing. So we're happy with it.
Yeah. I've seen too now a lot of people bring meals there and help you guys with food for the guys, things like that. I mean, and then also too, volunteers I know can come and like actually stay. They don't sleep, but they will spend the night, I believe, right? And help to watch over the house. Is that right?
Yep. We do have some volunteers that come and do overnight shifts, and basically the duties that are basically on site in case guys need help with anything or have any questions about something, or even just to have someone else to talk to besides me. The guys see a lot of me, so it's kind of nice to have another ear, another voice to listen to, and it works out good. And we have so the way where our overnights are set up, we probably have an average of about 3 or 4 nights a week covered by overnight volunteers, and then the other nights then I stay the night. And as far as our meals, we are so blessed to get meals brought to us basically every night by volunteers.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's truly, it baffles me every day that it happens. Actually, it's such a we use a website called the Meal Train, and just go on to train.com and create a free account and sign up for whatever night they want to bring a meal, and it's unbelievable. Our guys basically get home cooked North Dakota meals every night for 6 months.
Wow.
And I know, like for us too, like this, just so everybody knows, we had a wedding, and then we over ordered way too much food. And so at the end of the wedding night, then we loaded up all this pasta and all this stuff and hauled it out to, we called Mike, and he said, yeah, I'll take it. And
Interesting.
at the end of our banquet too, for Dakota Hope and the festival trees and all that, we end up bringing, usually we have quite a bit of food left over. And
Yeah.
Mike's like, yeah, my guys would love that. So just so people know out there that if you're putting on an event and you got some food left over, to reach out to Mike. Mike, where would they get a hold of you? Do you want him to call you on your phone number? Or?
Basically, just call my cell, which
Yeah.
822-2585. And I get frequent calls like that from churches who have extra food from events they have at the church.
Yeah.
And basically that food is just a bonus for our guys, because the meals that people bring in the evening, sometimes there's leftovers and sometimes there's not. So when we get extra food like that, then the guys know they're going to have plenty of food to pack for their lunch when they leave in the mornings.
That's good.
Oh,
That's important.
wonderful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Way neat.
Yeah. And I know, if we see people, a lot of times, we don't see a lot of homeless men per se around town, but if we talk to them, we can always ask them, hey, have you talked to Men's Winter Refuge, and kind of ask that question. I mean, how would you suggest us getting those guys? How could we refer somebody to you, Mike?
Great question.
Yeah, typically I just tell people to have them call me directly, or if someone is with an individual and they're looking for help and they don't have a phone, if they can let them use their phone to give you a call while they're with them.
Right. What's your number again, Mike?
What's that?
Your phone number again? It's 701-822
2585.
2585. We're going to put that on the screen real quick here.
Yeah.
But I know it's been helpful for me. When I've been equipped with that information from you over the years, I've used that several times to actually gauge. I'll stop and talk to a guy and see, like, hey, have you heard of this? Or, and see how cooperative they are, if they wanting help or not. And, if they haven't heard of it, they're usually pretty excited.
Yep.
And then I guess it kind of alludes to it in the title. It's Men's Winter Refuge. What goes on during the summer?
Well, it's called the Men's Winter Refuge because we're open in the winter months. Our house, 12-bed shelter, is open from November through April every year. That covers those 6 months in the winter. And when we first started, the first 4 or 5 years, that was all we provided. And once a year, we did provide services. And as we've grown and gathered more funding, learned the ropes of how the homeless situation works a little bit in Minot, we now have funding where we can provide hotel rooms in the summer months. It's
Nice.
shorter stays. Then typically we have guys who stay at the house, but we found that guys shorter stays typically summer.
Sure. And I know you guys help out too. You help out with some helping them learn some life skills like balancing checkbooks and things like that, getting an account started, right?
Yeah, I work with the guys. Typically, if a guy comes in here and he's not working, the first thing we do is try to help them find a job. And then once they start getting rolling, I'll sit down with them and say, okay, here's a priority list that you should budget for when you're looking to move out and move into your own place. Some guys who already have a job when they come in, but they're not spending wisely or budgeting properly, we'll work with them on that too. And the best part of the job for me is to see a guy complete the entire process from when he comes in here and he basically has just clothes that are on his back and he's not working. See a guy come in and get settled here, find a full-time job, and then find his own place. The whole process. Those are just having those success stories is awesome for me. And we have, over the years, we've had hundreds of those.
Well, this has been incredible learning about this. It's amazing to hear the things that you guys do at the Men's Winter Refuge. And for the support part, it's pretty simple. Call Mike, 701-822-2585. 2585. Is that easy? And if they want to donate, they can go to GHD.com, givingheartsday.com, and donate so you guys can once again meet your goal of $10,000.
Yeah, absolutely. And just put in one more plug. All of our donations that we get for Giving Hearts Day and other fundraisers, they also go to our other services that we we provide besides shelter, which we have some like the hotels would be considered one of our homeless services, and we also provide free men's clothing to anyone that reaches out to us, and help with emergency travel if there's someone who's in a homeless situation in Minot, but they have family or a place elsewhere where they can be and not be in a homeless situation. We can help them get there with a bus ticket or a train ticket or whatever they're looking for.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mike.
But before we were talking about the joy of the collaborative and how we all celebrate with each other.
That's right.
Last year on Giving Hearts Day, we were all celebrating with the Men's Winter Refuge for something pretty big and exciting. What happened last year?
Last year on Giving Hearts Day, at the very end of the night, it was after 10 o'clock, and I was kind of winding down for the night, and I got a call from Fargo, and they said one of the local TV stations wants to interview you for Giving Hearts Day. I was like, okay, nonprofit Fargo. Why are they calling me?
Right.
As it turned out, that was a ruse. I mean, it wasn't a TV station that wanted to talk to me. It was the Giving Hearts Day live feed. They wanted to get me on their live feed so they could tell me that we won a $25,000 drawing from Gate City Bank.
Wow.
$25,000.
That's
So-
incredible.
Yeah, and here was, the end of the night. We reached our goal last year. I think we were at just like $11,000, a little over 11. I was feeling good about that, and then I saw before bedtime, and I almost fell out of my chair when they told me.
Absolutely. That's huge. Wow.
Our annual budget is under $200,000 a year, so a chunk like that,
It's an eighth of it.
real.
Yeah, that's huge. Awesome. Well, hey, I'm sure you'll be ready to answer the phone tonight.
Yeah, right. No sleep till midnight.
So
Will answer.
that's
Right.
right. That's right. All right. Well, thank you again, Mike, for joining us today. Very, very great learning about the Men's Winter Refuge.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All right. What a day it's been, guys.
Yeah.
It was
was
wonderful.
fun.
Thanks
Been
for doing this.
Over an hour and a half.
Well, it's
What?
not quite the Jerry Lewis telethon, but I'm tired.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Well, it's been really a pleasure learning about Giving Hearts Day, as already mentioned, and learning about the great nonprofits that Minot has.
Yes.
There's a lot of good ones.
Absolutely. I thought maybe before we tuned off, we could just jump over here to the, I mean, they can't see it, but go to the Minot GHD and just kind of read through all of the nonprofit names that are in your guys' collective.
Yeah.
So we have Camp Bentley, Crew, which is Campus Crusade for Christ, Jason, Dakota Hope Clinic, that's Tim, Greater Minot Concerts, again, Jason, Habitat for Humanity, Northern Lights, that was Roxy that joined us, Critter Crazy, Matthew 25 Project, that was Melissa that joined us, Men's Winter Refuge, that was Mike that was just on, North Dakota Association for the Disabled, or INDAD, Prairie Grit Adaptive Sports, the Salvation Army, Youth for Christ, and Youth Works, which was Tessa that joined us. So those are all the nonprofits that are on that minotghd.com website. If you just stop over there, you can see that. You can learn a little bit more about Giving Hearts Day, and you can yourself support it as well, which we would encourage you to do. So fantastic. Any closing words of wisdom? We're tired of me hearing that. It's not bad when you do a podcast once a week and you use that line. It can be a line. When you do that 8 times in an hour, it gets a little bit much.
Right. No, it was good. I'm glad you had us here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you